Okay, this time we're going to subtract polynomials. Same idea what we were doing before. We're going to just stack and add. Again, our exponents do not change. Then the next step, this has an extra step because of subtraction. We're going to distribute the negative first to the second group. And then we're going to stack and add. Oh my gosh, this pen is driving me insane. I'll have to go get my other one. And then we're just going to do what we did on the last lesson, and we're going to stack and add just like before. Okay? Now, here we go. I'm only going to do 2 examples here because there's really only one extra step. If you need more examples, we can do them in class. We will do them in class. Okay? So we have 8p minus 5r. It doesn't really help to hit it harder. I only have 2 problems. Let's get through this. We're going to subtract this entire group, that's important, of negative 6p squared plus 6r minus 3. Now this, first of all, remember our exponents are not going to change. But before we stack and add, we're going to distribute that negative so that we're dealing with just addition. So a negative times a negative, that's going to be plus, oh my goodness, plus I'll try one more time. Sorry. Plus 6p squared. Then we're going to distribute that. A negative times a positive is minus 6r. And then a negative times a negative is plus 3. Sorry, I'm using my finger here, so it's not as nice. Oops. And then I can't ever figure out how you're supposed to move it up if you're using your finger. Probably. Nope. Nope. I don't know. Oh, now look. Okay. We're going to copy down exactly the first group. We're not changing that yet. Okay, so now we're down to what we were doing last time. Last time what we were doing is we were stacking and adding. And so that's all we're going to do this time. We're going to stack and add again. Okay? I'm sorry that this is being a pain. So we're going to write down the first group without changing it. 8p minus 5r. And then we're going to stack underneath where they belong. Okay? So 6p squared, well, there's no 6p squared. So I can either add it to the end or I'm just going to put it out here on the front. Okay? And then I'm going to look at my next one. And that's negative 6r. Well, that's going to go under the r. And then I'm going to look at my last one, plus 3. Well, that's stupid. That doesn't have anything to go under it, so that's just going to go on the end. So this one doesn't simplify very nicely at all. So what do we end up with? We end up with a 6p squared. You can put a plus in front. Now remember, a lot of people do this. That's not true. There's a plus between them. So make sure you put that plus. Minus, get out your calculator, negative 5 minus 6. Negative 11r, and then that 3 didn't have anything to add to it. Okay, so that's my final answer. Not pretty, didn't come out very simple, but that's the answer. Sometimes in algebra it's not as satisfying as when you can come out with a nice simple answer. Okay, so let's do one more example. Oh, my pen seems to be working for a second. All right, so we have 3x squared minus 2x, subtract the entire group, 3x squared plus 5x minus 1. Now when we're dealing with subtraction, we need to distribute first. So we keep that first group exactly as it is. For now, we're just holding it there. We're going to deal with this. This becomes, so we're changing this to a plus, so that's why we're distributing it. Negative 3x squared minus 5x plus 1. Okay, so we took care of our subtraction. Now it's just time to stack and add. So I copy my original group, And then I take my second group and I just add it accordingly. Okay, that has an x squared on it. So it's going to go under the x squared term. This just has a regular x on it, so it's going to go under the x term. This one happens to be in order. This one has a +1. Well, there's no plain old 1 to add it to, so I'm just going to add it on the end. Now be careful. Don't let this trick you. If I have 3x squares and I take away 3x squares, I have no x squares left. I don't need to write that. They're gone. We don't need that. It's kind of like when we were doing elimination back in this first semester. Okay, it's gone. Now -2 and -5 is -7, and we just keep our x. And that +1 didn't have anything to add to it, so that's our final answer. Okay, so the only difference between this and section 5 is that you first need to distribute that negative and then stack and add. Again, do not change your exponents.